What Happened This Week podcast. Just two best friends chatting in the trailer about all the things you are thinking about. Because you never know with Kim and Tricia.
Hey guys, it's another week and we are still recording from our separate homes. I'm hoping that next week we're able to get together, because this recording from my home and you recording from your home, it's just different, don't you think?
Yeah, it stinks. I don't like it. I don't know if maybe it would be better if we did it like on a FaceTime or something, then at least I could see your facial expressions.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of like I'm talking to a wall or I'm talking to what I'm looking at outside. So it's just very impersonal. So it's just better when we're in the room together.
Well, and I'm really big on like multitasking, so sometimes I find myself sitting here like I should be doing something else as we talk. Because, like, you're not in front of me, like, to have a conversation with. So I'm like, oh, I could totally, like, go clean that out while I'm on the phone with her.
Yes. So that's why we need to be meeting in our camper so that we are staying put and we don't have our minds on other things. It was kind of nice to have, like, that 3 hour, just the time to ourselves, you know?
Exactly. Speaking of that, Jason is putting Reagan to bed here shortly, so they might come in to say goodnight. I'm not sure.
That's okay. That's the world we're in today, so no worries. So how was your week this week?
Oh, it's good. Still no baby, obviously. You would have mentioned that. Just super tired. Like, I just feel like this baby coming is imminent is how I feel, because I'm just so tired, you know? So uncomfortable, so big. So we'll see. The bassinet comes on Monday, so that's like the last big thing that we needed to have ready to go. So I feel really good about that. So.
Well, that's good. And you're still working from home?
Yes, thankfully. Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, it definitely has been a whirlwind of a week for us, because I think when I had on the last show, which I have to say I went back and listened to it, and because I was doing the edits, and oh my goodness, wow. There was a few things that I picked up on, and I know that you picked up on, Tricia. I didn't realize how annoying drunks are, number one.
Yes, that's it. I was going to ask you if you had any Trulies tonight.
None. I had no Trulies. I am sober as sober can be. I think at some point in the show I told you I had 4, then somehow I ramped up to 10.
10. You're like, no, and then you're back down to like, no, I'm a 4 or whatever. Yeah.
Like I got pulled over by the officer. You know, you're like, how many beers have you had? Only 2. Too many. But I could totally see the digression of from the beginning to the end, how that went. So that was definitely an interesting show for myself. I have to say, though, there's one part of the show I absolutely died laughing. It was the one part, it was towards the end, and everyone, you have to go back and listen to it, because we talked about, I was very candid. I guess it was, what is this? It's sober man's words or a drunk. No, is it a sober man's or drunk man's words or a sober man's thoughts? So, but it was like towards the end, I said something to you about, you know, if I was in the afterlife and I was sitting on a box in your living room, and, you know, what would you say to me? And you said, oh, I would tell you the gossip, girl. And I said, can I promise you something? Your secrets are to the grave. I don't know why. I just die laughing every time hear that. I don't know why I laugh at it
now. I
was
like, well, yeah, you're right. I guess they would be to the grave.
I don't know. I can't believe it. So I'm glad that I'm sober for this show. So I have to apologize as your co-host that I went a little off the rails a little bit. But it was a stressful week that week. And then this week has even been more stressful, because as of last week, we were on the fence on whether or not to accept an offer, which we have accepted an offer on the home. And we had the inspections done. I actually had the septic guy come over. They did the inspection, I think Tuesday. And girl, it was full of poop. It was full to the brim. So I had to get my pooper pumped out, which that's a pretty darn good job. I'm telling you what, if I was thinking about changing careers, I might become the pooper scooper. This man was on the 10th job.
Was it expensive?
It was only like $290. It was only $290.
Okay, not bad.
And he said, and he knocked off $10. He goes, normally it's $300, but I'm going to knock off $10 for you. I'm like, you know what? You are a doll. And I gave him a tip because I was waiting for it to like be like $900. 20. I gave him a $20 tip because I only had a 20. But I was trying to sell because he was like, why are you getting it pumped? He said, you trying? I almost sold James' lawnmower. If he would have come home and it was gone. I was like, he was eyeballing it. But this guy was like, he got here like at 2:00 and he had already been to 10 houses, pumped out the sewer, the tank. The tank. I had already been at 10 places, and he's at $300 a pop. And I mean, I know it's not all him. I know he works for a company, but I told James, I said, we're going to get in a new business. We're going to start pumping poop out of people's houses. This seems to be the way to go. But so we had that done, the inspection done, and so we have it's all official. So we have a contract. As things move forward, we're supposed to be out by June 15th. So we rented a storage unit, and we made 2 trips today. And I'm about to tell you what happened. I almost died today. I almost didn't make it to this call.
Oh, jeez.
Because we go into the storage unit, and I don't know if it's big enough. One, I'm a little concerned about it, but I guess we'll.
What size did you get?
A 10 by 20, a pretty big size.
Okay.
Seems, but so we got that, and then James and I were putting in the boxes like Tetris style. He's like, I got this. Well, on our second trip, we came back, and he has a little dolly cart or whatever, and he is back at the truck loading up again, and I'm in the storage unit, and all of a sudden, all the boxes fell on top of me. I'm screaming, James!
Oh my gosh.
And the 2 boxes, because I was very particular about how I pack, I mark where they're from and what's in them. And if there's glass, if there's glass, I put be careful. And of course, what 2 boxes do you think dropped?
Girl, I told you had to get bins. Bins are the way to go.
Well, yeah, but I would probably need like 50,000 bins. So we have
a ton of bins in there.
I know. Well, I was trying to be cheap, and actually a friend of mine, they just bought a house, and or a friend of hers did. So she brought over, oh my gosh, probably 50 boxes. So yeah. So, and then you had sent me boxes. So this particular box, there was the culprit. There was a box that just wasn't completely full, and so that just kind of caused an avalanche. So thank God I did survive that. So that's been, it's just tiring some, packing up. So I should be drinking, but I'm not because I'm just so tired that I just want to go to bed and do it all over again. So, but yeah, so far so good. So we're going to be living in the camper, and we're just kind of working on the logistics of that. And so it's going to be exciting for sure.
Very exciting.
Definitely.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is that we were going to stay at the camper. We most likely would be staying at James's parents' house in the camper in the backyard. And James and I were having a discussion today. His parents have a shower outside. And it's very normal for him, James, to be used to taking a shower outside, I guess. So today I said something like, well, yeah, when we take showers at the camper, he goes, we're not taking showers in the camper. We're going to be showering outside. I said, what? I don't shower outside. That's not normal for me. Maybe for you, but not for me. So that was kind of a shock today. So I said, I can't shower outside. Not with your mom and dad. No, that's just weird.
Yeah, I mean, like, they're so close. Like, yeah, that would definitely make me uncomfortable. I mean, I guess over time we get used to just about anything, but I don't know.
Yeah, so I'm having some reservations on that. So, but I may have not have a choice, but he's going to make sure I have the water filled up and all that good stuff. But that was just so funny that he just assumed that I was going to be taking showers outside. So I'm
not sure how you sell that to Taylor either. So just so you know.
Well, just so you know, that's how the conversation came up, because she was heading into the shower tonight. And I said, well, when we live in the camper, you can't be taking your hour showers. And James goes, what do you mean showers in the camper? I'm like, what do you mean? Oh, like, what? Wait a minute. I already don't have cable. We already had to figure out the pooper situation, because at one point he had told me that if I had to go to the bathroom, I'd have to go into his mom and dad's house. And I'm like, at 3:00 in the morning? No, I'm not with a headlamp. I'm walking through the backyard no, thank you. So we fixed that situation. So yeah, Taylor's definitely not going to be sold on that. So it's been interesting. So we, I think tomorrow we're not going to take any trips to the store yard. But I have to tell you what's really weird. I don't know, because I know you have a storage unit. You have to tell me if you find this. There's some really strange characters that hang out at a storage unit place.
Oh, I don't ever see anybody at ours.
Well, we're at the one over there off of US 1 behind Cowboys.
Okay, yep.
It's over there by Burn, the boot camp.
Right. Yep.
When I called like 10 different places, and they seem to have the best deal because we wanted climate control.
Yeah.
And those are hard to find at the size that we needed. So they seem to be fairly inexpensive. But it was just like really weird that these like characters are hanging around this place, and you have to there's a gate to get in, and then there's a gate to get out. So you're pretty much locked in there. And I told James, I was like, I wonder what these guys are doing. It's just like their hangout spot. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of odd. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I just thought that.
Yeah. I don't go to storage like by myself. So I've probably been there in the 2.5 years that we've had it by myself, like once or twice. It just sketches me out. Like you open the door and it's dark, and as you walk, the lights come on, like they're motion censored. So I guess it's good if I come in and it's dark. Either someone's been sitting in the same spot for a really long time, or there's nobody else in there.
Right.
So,
well, I told to James, I'm like, I wonder if people stay here and sleep in here. I'm like, you got to figure for $130, you get like a pretty big size room. I'm like, if nobody could notice, I'll live in here.
Right. Well, I mean, they have cameras all throughout ours. I'm sure they have them in yours. Somebody,
They do.
I guess they pay somebody off in the office, maybe.
Yeah, they do. They have cameras, and I know not at this one, but I know that some of the sites they'll have people that actually live on the premises. I think, or they live in like
at our place, somebody lives on premises.
Yeah, so it's just that was interesting. It's just kind of really weird character. So, not that I will be going there by myself anytime soon, but if I have to figure out a way if I need to get in there, that's what I told James. I'm like, don't pack everything, because we might need it. So I have a box aside for each room. Well, James immediately packs up the garage and he starts packing everything, so he can't find anything. He's like,
oh no.
He's like, that's the first boxes to go, so that's going to be all the way in the back.
In the back, exactly. That would be so what we did is like we had our pod, which became the pod was stuff that we were okay with not seeing for 2 years. Like this, you're not going to see it. You can't get to it. So that's where the majority of our furniture went.
Right.
Was in the pod. Like we don't need our beds. We didn't need our whatever. So everything went in there, and then stuff that like crazy enough is I packed my maternity clothes because we thought it wasn't going to take this long, and if we're going to get pregnant again, we'll be in our house by then. But that was not the case. Luckily, we did combine our units, so I did get my maternity clothes out. But and then as I'm packing stuff, I would say to Jason, like, all right, this box needs to go near the front, like meaning I might need to get into it. And he's like, Tricia, everything you're giving to me has to go to the front. Like, this cannot happen. Okay, never mind. So I mean, over time, we've had to go get stuff out. But, I mean, at this point, if I didn't have it and I knew, like, unless it was, like, really expensive, I would just go buy it again.
That's what James said. Yeah. He said if I have to, I'll just go buy it again. But I definitely have a newfound interest in this whole, like, I was for a short time there, I was going through the whole minimizing everything. And so, going through 6 years of my life here and 9 years of James' life, it's like, if you're packing it away and you don't necessarily need it and you don't know what it is, there's a lot of James was like, what is this? I'm like, I have no clue what that is or what it belongs to. You don't need it. So, it's definitely interesting how much stuff you acquire over the course of the years, and then the reality is you're not even using it. So what's the purpose?
Right. Like 10 spatulas. Why? I mean, like, we hopefully will do dishes long before we need to use that 10th spatula.
That's it. Well, I was packing up a kitchen today, and James has said, do you need that electric can opener? And I'm like, no, we're camping, so we're going to use the handheld one. Like I am just trying to, but why do you need, or I found 6 wine openers. The screw things. I don't even drink wine. Why do I even have them? And I had an electric one. And I'm like, what in the world? So I did keep one out for the camper in case I need it. But I was like, how did I acquire so many of these? Like you said, the spatulas. So I don't know.
We had a lot of them wine openers, but I think we end up with them because like we'd go out of town and like get a bottle of wine, bring back to the hotel, be like, mother trucker, we don't have a wine opener. So we have to go buy one, to open wine or whatever. And then we acquired them that way.
You need to put that next to the Fix-A-Flat in the glove box next time.
Officer, sorry, let me move my wine opener out of the way so I can get my registration.
just in case, you never know, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so we're still in quarantine with work too, so I haven't been out in the field. However, I'm excited because on Thursday, I actually organized a blood drive up in Vero Beach. So I'm going to be going to that, and I'm also one of the physicians that I do work with is actually accepting visitors to come in and do a lunch. So I have to be at Stewart in the morning and Vero Beach in the afternoon. And I can't tell you how excited I am because I'm actually going to be able to shave my legs, do my hair, put some makeup on, and say hello world. So I'm excited about that.
Your car is going to be like, what in the heck is going on? Black Beauty here hasn't left the driveway in 6 weeks.
I know, exactly. So I'm kind of super excited. It'll be interesting, to get out on the roadway and see all that's what life's out there like. So it's going to be, and they just opened up the nail salons and the hair salons here in Florida for Monday. So there'll be a big push out there for a lot of people to go. I know that Deanna, she's just been waiting for this day to open up. And now that it's opened up, it's just, people are coming out of the woodwork. So to get their hair done, which I don't blame them. That's a good problem to have.
I do my own hair. So my roots never looked bad through all of this quarantine. My roots were spot on with my box color. Okay.
Well, I went to Publix today, and typically when I go to Publix, I like to dress up a little bit, meaning that I like to wear a hat or something. If I go to Winn-Dixie, girl, I don't dress up. I'm like, whatever. I don't even care if my clothes match. But today I went to Publix. I didn't even care because I was such a hot mess from the storage unit and sweating and everything. And I got back in the car and I looked in the mirror and I have my gray spots coming out. And I'm like, you know what? I don't even care. Let's go do this. Everybody, I wish I could wear a mask on my head because everybody was wearing masks on their faces, and I can't breathe with that thing on. It fogs up my glasses. So I don't know how it's going to be out there. I'm constantly pulling it down. I don't have one of those handmade ones that are probably easier to breathe out of. This one is one of those, I don't know, surgical ones.
Construction work, you're wearing what the guys wear when they paint cars.
No, I didn't get that one, but that I would have rather rocked that because that would be at least a little bit more. I'd paint a nose on it or whisker or something on it to make it fun. But I'm not digging the whole mask thing, so I'm hoping that everything subsides and we're able to get back to life soon. That's for sure. So one of the things that we were talking about is our favorite movies. I'm not a huge movie person that I was when I was younger. But not as I got older. I think, with Netflix, there's so many reality shows. I love documentaries, as you do.
I love docuseries. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. And then there's reality shows. So a lot of that kind of is what I watch now. But there are some movies. And I think, too, going to the movies now, the movie theater, is one, really expensive. I think that it's overrated. And, I just think that it's 2 hours of your life that you really wish you could get back and do something else. So it's been I've not gone to the movies. It's been a while since I've been to the movies.
Yeah, I can't even remember the last time I went to the movies. I'm trying to think. Jason and I went to the movies. We went to that place in Jupiter where you can have cocktails. That part was nice. I don't even know what we saw, but that's where we went.
I went there. It was it's Cineplex. I can't remember the name of it, but I know what you're talking about. They have the reclining chairs. James and I went there. Last movie we saw there, I think, was John Wick 3, and that was a really cool experience. But, other than that, it's been a while since I've gone to the movies. I remember being, as a kid growing up, my mom and my stepfather, they loved movies, and we always were at Blockbuster. That was the weekend thing. And then having all the VHS movies, they collected all the VHS movies and things like that. So as a kid, I remember sitting down and watching movies. Now, not so much. I did, though. Let's see. There was a movie that you remember Bad Boys?
Yes.
Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. They came out with Bad Boys for Life. So that's actually at Redbox, but I rented it on demand. And I don't know, it's the third one. It's not as good as the first one. I don't think when they redo movies, they're never as good as the first one.
Well, and what I thought was really crazy with that one is so the title is Bad Boys for Life. They really should have saved that for number 4, the fourth one.
Right, for life.
But the play on words, right? Bad Boys for Life. There should have been a play on words.
Right, that would make more sense. Maybe they won't be coming out with a fourth. But you know what? I think they will.
Maybe they're not going to make it that far.
I think they will, because the way that they left it hanging, I think there's going to be a fourth.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean then. So why wouldn't they? You know, like that would have been so much better. Like, man, I'm not even that creative, and I saw that.
I think they shot that. A lot of it was shot in Miami too. They shot a lot of that.
Maybe.
I remember hearing about that, because when you're watching the movie, I can see some of the things that look like Miami to me. So I'll go ahead and start with my number one, because I know we've come up with a few of our favorite movies, and just kind of, as a child is what they are, not necessarily so much today. But my first one is Top Gun.
Oh, it's so funny you say that. So like, I've never seen it. I've only seen like bits and pieces of it, and Jason could not believe it either that I have not seen it. Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Oh my God, we have to sit down and watch Top Gun, because the second one, they were going to release the second one. Oh my gosh, I want to say it was May 8th, yesterday. Mm-hmm. There hasn't been any, this was like 6 months ago, there was a big old trailer about it. And I don't know if with Corona and all that stuff, because people are obviously going to the movie theaters, they maybe haven't released it yet. But
right.
Oh my God, Maverick and Goose, like Tom Cruise, and oh my God, he was just, I fell in love with him then, and he was on the motorcycle. And then you got Val Kilmer. He was the Goose. He was Iceman. Oh my gosh. I could probably repeat. I watched that movie so much over and over. I could probably repeat a lot of the storylines, or some of the things that they say, not the storylines, but some of the words that they say from the movie. So that's definitely one of my big ones. I think Top Gun I think Tom Cruise too, back in the day when he came out with Top Gun, he did like Cocktails. He did a few other movies, all in a very short amount, Risky Business. And that's where I think just kind of like took him to the next level. So Top Gun is definitely my number one. What's yours?
Die Hard 2.
Die Hard 2. Why Die Hard 2 and not 1?
Okay, so this is what happens, I think, is that like I saw Die Hard 2 before I saw Die Hard 1.
Okay.
And I think that's probably why that one's my favorite. The entire Die Hard series for me is, I could watch it. I would be like, how you bought, what was that thing you bought that on HBO? The series or whatever.
The Big Little Liars.
Yeah. So I could totally buy like Die Hard and watch them all the time. Like, but number 2 is my favorite. That's the one in the airport and his wife was on the plane, and I just love. That's my favorite.
Really? And that has Bruce Willis, right?
Bruce Willis. Mm-hmm.
And it has the other guy in it. Who's Danny? Is it Danny Glover?
Well, like throughout like the different ones, that he has different sidekicks for them, like different, people.
He's the big one though.
Oh yeah, no, he is. Yeah, no. So he is definitely he is the star. But that was my favorite. And then is it like Die Hard 4 is like in the city? That one is really, really good too. So that was with Samuel Jackson.
Okay, I remember seeing Die Hard 1. I don't know about 2 and 3. I know there's a few of them, but I know that my stepdad was a huge fan of Bruce Willis, so I know that was constantly something we would watch. That's interesting though, and I think they made one not too long ago, but I know Bruce Willis is way older now, but he's still a hunk.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, he is. Old moonlighting to Die Hard, That is by far my favorite.
Wow. I would have never have guessed that. That's interesting.
I know. I think it's Die Hard with a Vengeance. That might be the one, with Samuel Jackson. That one came out like in 95. But by far my favorite.
Wow. I'll have to remember that.
Mm-hmm.
So another one of my favorites, and it's kind of funny because it's not the 1, it's the 2, is Grease.
Okay.
So the first one is John Travolta
and Olivia Newton-John.
Yes, which I absolutely loved them, but I like Grease too. It had Michelle Pfeiffer in it. And I don't think I've ever
seen it. I didn't even know there was a Grease too.
Oh my gosh. I remember getting my wisdom teeth pulled when I was like 18, and my mom bought me Grease 1 and Grease 2. And I sat there and watched them repeatedly over and over and over, all high on pain pills or whatever I was on. And It was Vicodin. I actually really took more than what I was supposed to over the course of I think I had like 5 days worth, and I think I took them all in 2.5 days. But I binge watched Grease and Grease 2. And from that, Grease 2 was like done about 3 or 4 years after Grease 1, and I felt like Grease 1 was actually filmed in 79, which is the year we were born.
Mm-hmm.
And then Grease 2, I believe, was filmed in 84, 85. I think there was like maybe a 4 or 5 year time frame for them apart. And I think maybe that's why I related a little bit more to Grease 2 than Grease 1, but not really. But I guess maybe because of the timing, I guess. But yeah, definitely one of my my favorites. And you don't see it. You see Grease all the time that comes on TBS, but not Grease 2.
That's crazy. Like I said, I didn't even know there was a Grease 2.
Yeah, I had the soundtrack and everything, even to Grease 1. I mean, I think those are staple songs anyways when you hear people singing, though, I think. Karaoke.
So I would say my next one would probably be Dirty Dancing.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, like I love Law and Order, and my favorite character on Law and Order is Lenny, played by Jerry Orbach, which is the dad on Dirty Dancing. So, right. I mean, my love of him, my love of, like, it made you want to, like, dance, like, go to summer camp or something. I don't even know. But it was just really great. However, they did, like, I don't know, a 20-year, like, release in theaters. And I went with my friend Leslie to go to the movie theater, and we saw it. And I have to tell you something. It was horrible. The movie was horrible in the theater. Horrible.
Really?
It was like, oh my God, this movie is so stupid. So I don't know if it's because, like, so much has changed in movies, like, from when this was put out, like, in 87 versus, 20 years later in 2007. Like, it's just so much better for a small screen. It was just like, I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize how bad this movie was. So I just sat here in a movie theater without commercials, because typically if I catch Dirty Dancing now, it's probably on like TBS or USA or TNT or something, and has commercials. And so it was really bad, but I still love it. Don't get me wrong.
Right, but you're right though. Especially when you go back and you watch old movies, like now, it's kind of like that was the best that they had for at that time frame with the equipment and the effects and everything. But things have so much changed now, so it's very different when you see things now. So that makes complete sense. See, I love Dirty Dancing. The soundtrack. I always like the music to a lot of the movies, and so that in itself. But I read somewhere, or maybe either I read somewhere, or maybe it was a behind the scenes, but apparently, Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey did not like each other at all.
Yeah, there's a whole Netflix series called The Movies That Made Us, and Dirty Dancing is on there. Dirty Dancing, Home Alone, Ghostbusters. And it's awesome. It takes you behind the scenes of these movies, like behind like what really happened. And no, they couldn't stand each other.
Right. Which they did a great job pulling that off.
Mm-hmm.
Because the chemistry between the two of them, it looked like they were literally dating on the set,
It said they did say that they had chemistry. Like, it's just that their chemistry like would be like a bad relationship chemistry. Like it was there. They definitely had this reaction to each other, and everything was, that way was true. Like, that's how they did it. And they were very passionate, but it wasn't a love passion by any means.
It was not a good one.
No.
So my next one is the reason Taylor has her name. I got the name from this. This is called "She Is All That."
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard. I don't know if you heard of it. It came out. Oh my gosh, Taylor was born in 2000.
Is that when they changed the girl and they dress her up?
No, but I think I know which one you're talking about. I can't remember that one, but this one is pretty much, it's a typical storyline, and I love high school storylines. I'll lay in bed with Taylor and sit down and watch high school movies with her all night. I love it. I don't know if it just brings me back to what I wanted to be or who I couldn't be, or just like trying to relive someone else's youth. But it's a girl who's very nerdy, artsy kind of, and Freddie Prinze Jr., he plays in the movie. And he's actually, I think he's married to Michelle from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, he is. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he's in the movie, and he's the hot stud muffin of the high school, and he's dating the cheerleader. Her name is Taylor Vaughn.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
She's not a nice person at all. and she somehow gets hooked up with some guy from the Real World reality show, and then she dumps Freddie, and then he ends up making a bet with his friends that he's going to turn any girl into a prom queen, and he turns in Lainey, who's this nerd, into a prom queen, and they end up actually dating and falling in love. So yeah, I could probably watch that movie over and over and over. It's such a cheesy high school movie. But
yeah, I have seen that. That's what I was saying. They knew they had dressed her up. And just so you know, I was Googling it to see, like, is this what I'm thinking? And it tells me when it's coming on TV again soon. So it's coming on Tuesday. It's coming on Showtime at 8. Yeah. So just like, and it's still coming on Showtime all next week. So, you could always log on and you could watch it if you wanted to.
Okay.
Yes.
I have the DVD, or I had it until about 2 hours ago, though. So, because it's packed. It's gone. It's at the...
Oh, yeah. See, now you can watch it. Mm-hmm.
But you're right. They do dress her up. The sister actually dresses her up that night for prom or a date they're going to go on. So they do dress her up about that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. So that's, I always got into like teen movies, like the Grease movie. Then you have She's All That. And I have a few other that are like teen movies, but I don't know why. I just, for some reason, get lost for that hour or two into something else. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
What's your next one?
Christmas Vacation.
Chevy Chase.
Oh,
that is a classic. That is a classic.
It is. We watch that every year at Christmas. Like, it's our thing. And luckily both Jason and I love this movie, so it works out really well.
Yes, it's a good one. Actually, I remember 2 years ago, I think Taylor and I was like, "Great, Taylor, you have to sit down and watch this movie with me. It's the best classic Christmas movie ever." She didn't find any humor in it. She didn't get it. And I'm like, how do you not get any humor out of this? And again, it's filmed like years ago, but I'm always dying laughing no matter what, whether...
Oh my God, I know.
The squirrel in the tree.
Like you totally had the poopers full situation. That's going to be y'all. That's y'all at James's parents' house pumping out the sewage in the camper.
Totally us on Christmas Day. No, it's fun. I told James, because we're going to go to his mom's tomorrow for Mother's Day, and as things prolong, if the longer we're staying in the camper, I said, well, I guess as holidays come up, I don't have to cook anything, because I can just say that I live in the camper and I have to buy store-bought stuff because I don't like to cook, So now I have
that's gonna be James is gonna be out there with his robe on. Shitter's full.
Totally. He'll do that and not even blink an eye. That will totally be us going down the road. Oh my God. And then we'll have to take the plug out and just go up and down the road to unplug it. That could totally be us. I do love Christmas Vacation. You can't go wrong with any of his movies, but especially that one. That's a real good one. My next one is Bring It On. The cheerleaders.
Yeah, I like it. I'm not gonna lie. It was good.
Well, they have Bring It On. I think they're up to number 8 or 9.
Yeah,
they're very.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah.
No, the first one were.
Yeah, the first one is definitely good. The rest of them, I'm just like whatever, ridiculous, cheesy. But if I go back and watch that movie now, I'm sure it's cheesy because they're all cheesy, But yeah, Bring It On was definitely something. I don't remember what year that came out, but I own that one too. That was a big one because I was like, I want to be a cheerleader. I always wanted to be a cheerleader, and here I am watching Bring It On.
Sex and the City, the movie, the first one. The second one was good too, but I really liked the first one.
Did we go see that one together?
Maybe it was one of our date nights.
I think we did because I never really got into Sex and the City, and you always did. And so I think you said, let's go see the movie. I could have swore we went and seen the movie because after that I got hooked.
We may have.
After that I got hooked on the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I really liked it. It was good. I think it comes on. I still watch it when it comes on old TBS. Apparently they play a lot of this stuff, but yeah, I think my favorite part is when they're in Mexico on Carrie's honeymoon, and poor Carrie, is this devastated, and she just hasn't smiled in a few days, obviously. And they're sitting by the pool, and she looks over at Miranda, and Miranda hasn't shaved, and God knows how long. And her bush is hanging out of her bathing suit. and they just lose it. Like I was like, oh my god, stupid. That would totally be me. I'd be like, whatever, I'm here for you. Like I haven't shaved in a week, whatever. You know.
Oh, that's awesome. I forgot about that
Yeah.
scene. That's that is good. That's a good movie. That was a good series. That was a really good series. I was
Yeah, no, definitely.
I was late to the game on that one because I think you did introduce me to them, to the watching Sex in the City, and I think it was on HBO. Was I correct? Was it on HBO?
Yeah, I didn't have HBO. Again, I caught up on it, like clean version of it, like on CBS. So I have HBO now, and I'll go back and watch them. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like there's so many boobies on here, or whatever, you know. Like God.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. I think it was on HBO. So back in the day, I didn't have HBO, but I watched the movie and just hearing from like the storylines of just kind of the characters and stuff. So that was definitely a good show. And I heard that they might be making a reunion movie.
I think they've talked about it, but Sarah Jessica Parker doesn't get along. Her and heck's her name?
Oh, the blonde
that plays Samantha. They don't get along.
Okay. My other last one is Varsity Blues.
Yeah, a lot of people like that movie, but I don't think that I don't know if I've seen the whole thing.
Well, it's kind of like another high school movie, and it's about a boy. It's James Vanderbeek. He was the one on the Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, yeah, Dawson
Yes.
Street. Mm-hmm.
So he was on it, and then there was a bunch of football players, and the quarterback got hurt, so he stepped in, and he took the girl, and then it was all about just this football coach who was a real jerk to them, and how the kid was like, follow your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, it was just a high school cheesy movie. But
yeah, did you either loved high school or you hated high school? Because you're either trying to relive it in a good way or trying to forget it in a bad way watching these high school
I'm trying to
movies.
relive it in a bad I don't know, because I didn't have a good one, so I'm trying to relive it to see if I can get a good one. Because I'll sit down and watch High School Musical, even though that was cheesy. Boy, we'd sit down and the musical. Taylor and I would dance. Oh my goodness, my dream, though, is because Taylor and I have started to go watch. Oh, she's saying, "Mommy, what are you doing, Mommy?"
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, she wants to come in and say goodnight.
Okay,
Hold on one sec. Let me see. All right, baby, come in. Good night. She's ready to go. She wants to say goodnight to her
She's
mommy.
ready to go night-night.
She is. Hi, baby.
You're banging on the door?
Yeah. Kim's like, I can hear her. She wants to say. She wants to come in. Hey, baby. You
All right.
ready for night
Tell
night?
mommy night night. She just wanted to come in and see you.
I know.
Charlotte, go.
I love you.
She's so tired.
You tired, girl? Hi, baby. You say hi. Hi, Aunt Kimmy.
Hi,
She won't be able to hear her.
hi, baby. Hi, baby.
Yeah.
Hi, baby.
Here, hold on. Here, put that in your ear.
Hi, baby. What are you doing? Are you going night-night? You go night-night. Did you ride on the buggy today?
Yes.
You saw gators?
Alligators?
Here.
Oh yeah.
Horse is here.
Yeah. Did you see baby cows?
I said baby cow.
What does a cow say?
See baby cow.
What's a cow say? Moo.
Moo.
She don't sound tired. She's ready. Like she could go for another
Okay,
30
good night.
minutes.
Bye,
Bye,
Kim.
baby. Love you.
Bye, Kim.
Bye, love you. Good night, Reagan.
Love you.
Love you more.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
You kiss me. I love you.
Good night.
Give mommy a hug and kiss, okay?
Good night, Kim.
Good night, baby. Sleep tight.
Okay, come on, we're gonna go night night, okay?
All right. I love you, baby.
Come on, Charlotte.
Sorry, your ball. Sorry, get your ball.
All right. Good night, baby.
Good night, Mama.
Good night, Kim.
She is such a ham.
Yeah, she's
She's a ham. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
So funny.
She is.
She made her debut, everybody.
She did. She is official. Oh my gosh. She's too
She
cute.
is. So my last movie is Footloose.
Ooh, yes. With Kevin Bacon. Have you seen the remake
Yes.
one they did?
No. When something's really good, I don't go for remakes.
Well, the girl, who I think is absolutely beautiful, is she was on Dancing with the Stars. She was one of the dancers. Her and her brother, Gillian Huff.
Oh yeah,
She plays the girl, and there's a young-looking guy. He's cute. He plays the guy. But they did a remake about 5-6 years ago, and she's a great dancer anyway, so she did it. So I liked. I mean, it wasn't the same like the original, but it was still
Right.
pretty good though. But Footloose is good. I like the whole like, the Bible thing and how you're not supposed to dance and the Lord wants you to dance. So that's got a good meaning to it for sure.
I was probably way too young the first time I watched it. I'm sure it was like some inappropriateness why it was rented, but I must have been third grade, like the summer of second or third grade. And my mom rented it. I remember like my cousin Kelly was staying with us for like the week, and we would play it and then rewind it and play it again and rewind it and play it again. Like I probably like you only got like one day to watch it. You had to take it back to the rental shop, whatever, and get my VHS and take it back. But yeah, I'd rewind it, we watch it again, we rewind it, watch it again.
That is so funny. You wore that tape out for sure.
We did. We got our $1.25 worth for our video rental or whatever it was.
I know. It's so crazy too because like that back in the day was what you did. You went and got your your VHS, and then it went to like DVDs, and then now everything's on the TV. We still do the red. You just stream it. We still do Redbox at Publix. It's like $1.25.
Yeah,
we'll still do that, but I mean it's just so different from what videos are. What they were and now what they are, kids can stream anything and they can see it. And that's why I don't believe that movies are not as big anymore. Like, in the sense of like everybody go to the movie theater and now you have Netflix. Like that's where you want to be. That's where those movies want to show up and as in the Netflix and the Hulu. They want to, be on that. So it's going to be interesting even 10 years from now, what that looks like.
Yeah, because there's been a couple movies that they actually decided with this COVID that they, instead of releasing it in theaters, they went direct.
Oh yeah. And I actually, interesting enough, is there's another episode on Tiger King that just came out.
Oh boy!
So the actor. My gosh, I can't remember his name. He's like a comedian too. He actually took 6 of the characters and actually interviewed them during COVID-19. So they were at their home. So you'll have to go watch it. It's interesting because it just kind of talked. The guy that had no teeth, was wearing his teeth and he interviewed him. Okay. So it was interesting. So it just came out like 3 or 4 days ago. So you got to go watch it. Okay, yeah, it's quite funny. All right, guys. Well, that's it for this week. Thanks so much for joining us. We wanted to share you our top 5 movies that we enjoyed even as a kid and things that, maybe something you can look forward to if you want to watch it. They usually come on TBS or like Tricia said, TNT or USA. All right. Thanks guys for joining us. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.